Hillary gets off scot-free. The state of Illinois may create an official Muslim council, and yet another federal government agency prepares for the zombie apocalypse. This is SkyWatch TV for Thursday, July 7th, 2016. I'm Derek Gilbert. First up, the globalists are showing their true colors. As we expected, global elites are using Brexit, Britain's vote to exit the European Union, as an excuse to call for more intervention in the global economy. The Bank of International Settlements, which you remember I told you last week called a special emergency meeting after the Brexit vote, is calling not just for central banks around the world to coordinate monetary policy, it wants global rules for all central banks. A recent article in Bloomberg News, which is influential in the financial community, called for central bankers to give up their domestic bias and they argue that economies are so intertwined around the world that bankers should make the global economy the priority, regardless of what happens to the local communities and local economies. These calls for total centralization of the world's economy, in my view, are a sign. And we need to keep our eyes open and be prepared, because there may be something very ugly economically coming soon, some kind of economic crash that will convince the unwashed masses, meaning you and me, that we need a global big brother to step in and fix everything and make it right. And of course, as Christians, we know that prophetically, ultimately, someday there will be a global one world government. And the signs economically are there. Even though stocks are rebounding as we record this on Thursday, July 7th, the actual buying and selling of, real products instead of pieces of paper are declining. Last week, the largest privately owned coal company in the United States sent word to its employees that 80% of them may have to be laid off by this fall. That hits kind of close to home for me, because that particular company was my biggest customer when I was selling steel as an outside sales rep in Southern Illinois. I know some of the men who will be affected by that. Another indicator, and another sector that affects the steel industry as well, so again, hits kind of close to home. Heavy truck orders dropped to its lowest level in 6 years, down 2/3 from their high in 2014. That means not as much demand for trucks because not as many products moving back and forth. Always remember, the Dow Jones Industrial Index has very little basis in reality. As expected, Hillary Clinton walks away from her private email scandal untouched by the law. The FBI, Department of Justice, have confirmed there will be no charges filed against Hillary Clinton, even though FBI Director James Comey, in a remarkable press conference, excoriated, it's a good word, excoriated former Secretary of State Clinton for her reckless use of a private email server to handle government secrets. The FBI's position appears to be that even though she broke the law, she didn't intend to break the law, and so no charges. A former CIA analyst told reporters that it's probable any nation with hackers worth their salt, like Russia, China, Iran, many others, probably already has access to everything that was on her server. There was a brilliant political cartoon that showed up on Facebook this morning suggesting a new campaign slogan for Hillary's presidential campaign: not criminal, just extremely reckless. The death toll, well, let me just add this. Was I surprised? No, I'm from Chicago, which is where Mrs. Clinton and Barack Obama both got their political training, so I fully expected this exact result. And to be honest, if any of us Christians expect the federal government, regardless of who's in charge, to uphold biblical standards of morality, then we're placing our hope in the wrong political system. Just remember, as a Christian, you and I are citizens of a theocracy, the kingdom of God. That's where we put our trust. Meanwhile, we go about our business. Vote, render unto Caesar what's Caesar's, but let's go about our business of carrying out the Great Commission. The death toll from the ISIS bombings in Baghdad this past weekend, now over 250, the deadliest single attack in Iraq in years. And it puts a cap on Ramadan, which ended Tuesday, made it one of the bloodiest months of Ramadan in recent memory. The Islamic State claiming that it shot down a U.S. drone, an MQ-9 Reaper, They claim it went down near Raqqa in northern Syria. The Air Force denies the report, says the drone self-destructed after a technical problem. The Reaper has a 60-foot wingspan, can stay in the air for almost 2 full days, carries a complement of Hellfire and Stinger missiles, as well as classified surveillance equipment. Russia reportedly beefing up its air force in Syria. It is now sending advanced aircraft, including helicopter gunships, to the battlefront. Analysts believe this is part of expanded military cooperation between Russia and the U.S. Air Force. And they say it's possible we will see Russian helicopters and American helicopters cooperating in attacks on terror targets. Israel and the U.S. carried out unprecedented missile defense tests last month. The 5-day exercise, which ended June 22nd, simulated thousands of incoming missiles aimed at Israel from 2 separate locations. It was designed to test how well Israeli and American missile defense systems work together. Congress, in recent years, has allocated about $600 million a year to Israel for missile defense. That's incidentally about 4 times more than what the Obama administration wanted to send. A recent study by the Pew Research Group finds that Abrahamic religions are the future of planet Earth. The key question is which one or ones? Christianity is growing on planet Earth. We just don't see it here in the United States. Most of it is happening in the global South, South America, Africa. But Islam is growing even faster. And if the projections are accurate, by about 2070, Islam will surpass Christianity as the largest religion on earth. And before you write, I understand that I am using the Abrahamic religion in the sense that the media uses it, just for convenience sake. I know full well that the son of the promise was Isaac, not Ishmael. Another reason I'm glad to be out of my home state of Illinois. The state is, while still operating without an official budget. They did sign a stopgap budget to keep the government afloat for about 6 more months at the end of June. But the legislature, while it was wrestling with how they were going to pay the state's bills, passed a law, still awaiting Governor Rauner's signature, that would create America's first official state government Muslim council. This 21-member council would be appointed by the governor and leaders in the state legislature, House and Senate, to 2-year terms, and they would advise the state government on issues affecting Muslims in America. Republican Governor Bruce Rauner hasn't signed the bill yet, but we note that he was endorsed over former Governor Pat Quinn by the Urban Muslim Minority Alliance for the 2014 election. Now, former Governor Quinn did appoint a Muslim Advisory Council. This bill would just make that official and permanent. Now, just replace the word Muslim in the name of this council with Christian or Jewish, and imagine how atheists, New Agers, and agnostics would react. This is a bad idea. The Muslim Brotherhood for years has been advocating something they call civilization jihad, which is essentially a stealthy form of jihad. Get access to the levers of power inside a civilization, and then promote Sharia law from within. Don't confuse pre-violent with peaceful. Another sign of the times. In Belgium, a Catholic nursing home has been successfully sued for refusing to help one of its patients commit suicide. Now, in Catholic doctrine, suicide is a grave sin. But a court in Belgium has ordered the nursing home to pay more than $6,000 US to the family of an elderly woman because the nursing home, quote, did not have the right to refuse euthanasia on the grounds of conscientious objection, end quote. In other words, the right for a person to kill himself or herself trumps the religious belief of someone else that doing so is wrong. So in Belgium, healthcare providers must be complicit in assisted suicide, which is really homicide when you think about it, or they have to pay damages. And we will see this coming to our continent sooner than you think. The culture of death is spreading, and we'll see stories like this here before long. From the world of technology, virtual reality is very hot. We've told you about Facebook's $2 billion investment in VR, buying out the company that developed the Oculus Rift virtual reality goggles. New research indicates that VR is more than just a harmless new way to play video games, or to be perfectly honest, to watch pornography, which is probably, according to analysts, how Facebook is going to make back its investment on the Oculus Rift. Neuropsychologists at UCLA found that the brains of rats who were immersed in a VR environment, in the part of the brain that maps the rat's location in real space, 60% of the neurons totally shut down, and the other 40% just fired at random with no pattern. Now, in a human brain, that part of the mind is also linked to, I should say brain to be more specific, that part of the human brain is also linked to epilepsy, Alzheimer's, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Russia working on a Star Trek-like transporter beam. The Kremlin reportedly investing $2 trillion in this strategic program. The goal is to develop teleportation by the year 2035. And we know there have been successful tests at the molecular level at Stanford University. Pentagon nurses training for the zombie apocalypse. The Department of Defense is using an animated online course about a zombie pandemic to teach active duty military nurses about population health. Now, they say this is a fun way to engage students in the content, but we note that the Centers for Disease Control posted online information for the public about dealing with a zombie outbreak. Ready.gov, which is about preparing for emergencies, has an online webinar that you and I can use to help us prepare for a zombie outbreak. And the Pentagon has gone so far as to develop a battle plan, CONOP 8888, called Counter Zombie Dominance. Now, that's a training exercise, they say. And I understand that this is a fun way to get people engaged with the popularity of the program on AMC, Living Dead, or The Walking Dead. But when so many government agencies are doing this, you just have to ask, do they think they know something that we don't know? And finally, the gate to the Temple of Pan may have been located in the Golan Heights. This is interesting for a couple of reasons. The Golan Heights is the biblical region of Bashan, which was the home, of course, of the kingdom of Og, one of the last of the Rephaim giants, known even to the ancient Canaanite culture of Ugarit as the location of the gates to the underworld, the cities of Edrei and Ashtaroth. Well, a Roman gate discovered by a team from the University of Haifa may have found the reason for the discovery of a large bronze mask of the god Pan last year. They thought maybe it was just there as a decoration or something until they uncovered a gate. Well, they thought this may have been some Roman fortification from the ancient city of Hippos in the Golan Heights. But now they believe it is the gateway to a larger compound dedicated to Pan, perhaps a temple, or perhaps a temple to the god Dionysus, the god of wine. Now, remember that the Golan Heights is basically at the foot of Mount Hermon. It's very close to Panias, which is the location of the biblical city of Caesarea Philippi, or a place called Banias or Panias, the grotto of Pan, a place where Pan was worshipped. Animals and allegedly sometimes people were sacrificed and thrown into this cave, which was supposed to be literally the gates to the underworld. Now, Pan in modern mythology is presented to us as the mischievous god of fields, music, and merriment. When you actually dig into the character of Pan, it's a lot darker than that. And of course, in the Old Testament, the book of Isaiah, God condemns the Israelites for worshiping goat demons, the Seirim, during the 40 years that they wandered in the desert between the Exodus and the conquest of Canaan. And it's no coincidence that Jesus chose Mount Hermon to reveal his transfigured self to James, Peter, and John. That was a cosmic poke in the eye to the watchers who had rebelled and fell. And then at the base of Mount Hermon, possibly even in front of the Grotto of Pan, was where Jesus declared that upon this rock, he would build his church, and the gates of hell would not prevail against it. So again, a very interesting archaeological dig, even if when you read the story, you don't get the whole story. But that's why SkyWatch TV is here. We've extended our special introductory offer for the new SkyWatch TV magazine so you can read articles about things like this on a monthly basis from world-class authors like Dr. Michael Heiser, Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis, Troy Anderson, Pulitzer Prize nominated journalist, and of course the staff here at SkyWatch TV. 5 years for the price of 3, plus the new book, I Predict What 12 Global Experts Believe You Will See by 2025, which includes contributions from New York Times bestselling author Joel Richardson, Carl Gallups, Mark Biltz, and more. More details on how you can take advantage of that offer at the end of this program. This week on SkyWatch TV, America not really America anymore. And the Hillary Clinton announcement just kind of reinforces that point, doesn't it? This week we talk with Josh Peck, Christina Peck, Joe Artis, and Donna Howell about their contributions to the new book. 12 chapters, 12 different topics, examining America today and the way it was, and offering some suggestions as to how we might get some of those things back. The program available again on Saturday on the Victory Television Network in Arkansas and around Memphis, and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. Central Time on WCLF-TV in the Tampa-St. Petersburg area. Of course, the program available right now on demand, the SkyWatch TV channel on Roku. And if you have a Roku device and have not yet added the SkyWatch TV channel to your account, please do. We've posted complete instructions on how to do that at skywatchtv.com/Roku. And we've got exclusive content available only online. Our web exclusive program this week, Reverend Dr. Robert Bennett, one of our favorite guests, explaining why the feel-good doctrine of theological pluralism, accepting what others believe, because that's enlightened, that's tolerant. It's also leading people straight to the gates of hell. Reverend Dr. Robert Bennett on theological pluralism. You'll find that program available on demand, the SkyWatch TV channel on Roku, and also on our SkyWatch TV channel at YouTube. And of course, our web exclusive content also includes these daily updates, of course, Into the Multiverse with Josh Peck, a look at the very fabric of reality, Sci Friday with my best friend and our science editor, Sharon Gilbert, SkyWatch Women, and the forthcoming Teens Rock, hosted by Joe Artis. Again, you'll find those only online, skywatchtv.com, and the SkyWatch TV channels on Roku and YouTube. And if you need a more portable version of SkyWatch TV, try the SkyWatch TV podcast, audio versions of all of our programs. We update the podcast every single day of the week. Instructions on where you can find it and how you can download it, posted at skywatchtv.com. Look in that top menu bar and then click the link that says podcast. We depend on your support to keep the message going here at SkyWatch TV, and during the month of July, our thank you gift for your support of any amount, books to prepare for the spiritual war in which you are deployed, whether you realize it or not, empowered by his presence, and 50 things you should know about Satan and demons. Now, we'll send those books to you if you're in the United States while supplies last. For your donation of any amount, for instructions and to give, log on to skywatchtv.com/donate. And of course, your mouse finger is also a great weapon in the spiritual war, as you can share the message of SkyWatch TV just by clicking like, share, or subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you want to find me online, here's where my stuff gets posted, including my new YouTube channel, where you'll find interviews we don't broadcast on SkyWatch TV, stuff that I find interesting and important. And if you've got comments, questions, or suggestions, please send those to dgilbert@skywatchtv.com. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatch TV. Save nearly half off the cover price when you subscribe now to the brand new SkyWatch TV magazine. For a limited time, a 5-year subscription to SkyWatch TV magazine is just $99. That's more than $75 off the cover price, which is like getting 2 years for free. Exclusive content, articles on prophecy, discovery, and the supernatural from Tom Horn, Chris Putnam, Josh Peck, science updates from Sharon K. Gilbert, geopolitics from yours truly, and guest writers like Pulitzer Prize nominated journalist Troy Anderson, renowned Bible scholar Dr. Michael Heiser, Pentagon advisor Lieutenant Colonel Bob McGinnis, and more. But there is more. As an early subscriber, you'll be the first to get this new book from Defender Publishing. I predict what 12 global experts believe you'll see by 2025. This is a $20 value and includes best-selling authors like Joel Richardson, Mark Biltz, Carl Gallups, Tom Horn, Paul McGuire, and more. Find out what they think about the coming war between ISIS and the Vatican, the future of the Temple Mount and the Ark of the Covenant, a worldwide manifestation of angels, and the coming age of human hybrids. And we'll also add this DVD, The Best of SkyWatchTV 2015, a $25 value, including our most compelling interviews from last year, including Chuck Missler, Steve Quayle, the discussion of the Georgia Guidestones with Chris Pinto, and more. All of this together worth more than $200. Yours now for just $99. Subscribe now. SkyWatch TV Magazine. Just call the number on your screen or log on to skywatchtvstore.com.